Dr. Fab, did you know that every single MS patient whose brain has been dissected after death in 2016, they took the cerebrospinal fluid and the cerebrospinal fluid of your spinal cord and brain, that your brain floats in and your spinal cord floats it. Then they took the brain of everybody who died with MS. They cut them into little bitty pieces, the brain, and guess what they found at 100% of all of them? 3 to 6 inch worms called roundworms. What are roundworms? That's another word called nematodes. Guess what the common word is for all you people? Heartworms in your dog and cat. They found 3 to 6 inch heartworms in the brain of every MS patient, burrowing holes and canals in their brains. You know what's amazing about that? They're eating holes in your brain. And then they found them in every cerebrospinal fluid sample, swimming worms in their spinal column. And what's amazing about MS is your symptoms change from year to year. Even the holes in your brain they see on an X-ray or CT scan, your neurologist, they will move. You'll have a hole this right here. Then next year it's here. Then it's over here. And as that changes, you'll have vision changes one year and then they improve. And then the next year you can't use your left arm. And then a year later you can use your left arm, but now it's your right foot. I mean, that's because the brain is healing as the worm is eating holes and caves through your brain. The parts it's eating are dying and you're not getting the information. So vision changes. It's amazing to me that you can see the physical holes in the brain your neurologist calls lesions, but every person who's dissected a brain with MS, they have worms eating holes in their brain. So parasites exist in America. They exist in your dogs and cats. They transfer to humans. If you would like a simple guide, I carried in my office here in Frisco, Fab, right down the street from you. I actually carried in my office a Banfield veterinarian clinic pamphlet titled that you can find in every Banfield veterinarian clinic in the country. That is the largest veterinarian clinic in the country. They're in all your PetSmarts and other department stores. If you go into their lobby and waiting room, pick up the 3-fold pack, the little pamphlet that's titled Parasites in You. When you open it, there's a chart and it shows you all the most common parasites they're testing your animal for that they know transfers to you and causes disease. Parasites exist in America, but as long as you keep your health professionals ignorant of that fact, your patients will continue to stay sick. You can prescribe them drugs to manage their symptoms or attempt to for the rest of their life while worms are in your brain, eating your brain to death, creating misery, harm, and dysfunction, affecting every activity of daily living, which is a insurance claim term. Activities of daily living. Always love that.
But there's a way to...
Parasites, tapeworms, roundworms, protozoa, and flukes. I just want to make sure I remember that. Tapeworms, protozoa, flukes, and tapeworms.
What would you suggest then for somebody that wants to find out if they currently have parasites? And number two, how would they go about resolving that issue? Because it's one of those essential things that I keep hearing you talk about it again and again.
Yeah, this is very key. So if you went to your medical doctor right now, there's what's called LabCorp, Quest, and Genova Labs. They offer what they call a comprehensive stool analysis for parasites. It is not comprehensive. In fact, it doesn't even test for tapeworms. It doesn't test for heartworms, called nematodes and roundworms, and none of them test for flukes at all. So 3 out of the 4 types of parasites, they don't even test for. So good luck getting a positive result out of their test. I do not trust these labs. They're there to look for a very small fraction of a parasite, and most of them are going to flag negative, and those aren't even the most common per the CDC. All right, so I recommend through my website, I tried to make this easy for people 5 years ago. If you think you might have parasites based on symptoms that everyone deals with, if they have parasites, there's a simple reference you can look at. You can either go to thedrardisshow.com and there's a parasite test kit. If you go to that page and you click the Buy Now button, it redirects you to a different website's page where that test kit lives. It's called parasitetesting.com. If you go to parasitetesting.com and go to the test tab, it's the first test kit on that test page out of like several, but you'll see it on the far left at the top. It's called the Full GI Panel and Bacterial Swab. That's what you need to do first. There's an example report there on that homepage and product page, and you can look at how that's going to come back to you in your email, showing you the results for the specific parasites you have. And it will actually explain to you where that parasite comes from so you can prevent re-exposure in the future. Because if you get it out of you, do you really want these symptoms again? If we cleared up your MS by getting rid of parasites, do you really want to get them again? No. So this report is really, really impressive. So once you do that stool analysis through parasitetesting.com, if you buy it, it's $284. If you don't want to pay $284, there's a 10% off code. Has nothing to do with me because I recommend it so often. There are groups like, hey, just tell everybody if they want 10% off, we'll give them to you. It's my last name, ARDIS, all capitals, the number 10 exclamation point. You just get the stool kit mailed to you. You're going to get a emailed report, 2 of them, a parasite report, and then a disease-causing bacteria and fungal report a couple weeks later. 2 reports for the 1 stool sample. 2 reports are coming from 1 stool sample. So that's where I recommend you go for that. And then the question is, well, what do you do if it comes back positive? The answers are in the report. The report comes back and tells you if you prefer drugs, these are the drugs that work against the specific parasite, bacteria, or fungi. And then these are the herbs that they recommend because they don't recommend drugs, but they know a lot of people will prefer that. So you got both the answers there in the kit.